Hey, Darkman here, and welcome to my Bleach Chapter 647 review. So the chapter starts off with Shunshui running from like rooftop to rooftop, bleeding everywhere, and he sits down thinking like, even with these wounds and at my age, I can still like run this far and fast. And it looks like the shoulder grazing that happened last chapter was a little bit more than that, because like one shoulder's like up higher, but then like this shoulder's down lower, and it looks like there's like just like a hole there. So it looks like his blast like took it from like here to here. So like took like all the skin and that off of it. And so he's like talking about like he's so strong that he's like can't say that he's tired or pass out or die or whatever. And so he kind of like just like jumps up and starts running around again as he's being shot at. And Lily shoots this thing through the window and starts like appearing there. So he has like a weird kind of teleportation. It looks pretty cool when it's happening. And he says that in this form, nothing can hurt him, which that seems pretty unfair. Like, if nothing can hurt him, then how's he supposed to win? Because he decides to try and use a Keto sword, which doesn't make any sense because he's a Quincy, he could just absorb it. But he decides to use a Quincy sword. That does nothing. And then we get the title page, the theater suicide. Which, wouldn't like the suicide theater sound better? Like, the suicide theater just has a better like ring to me. I don't know if that makes me sound weird for thinking like something with suicide would sound better than something else with suicide in it. I don't know. And so they keep running. It's Shinji's group now. And he says that they're getting close to the enemy base, so they should just keep going. And then there's just like an explosion in the background, which at first I thought was like what happened with his Keto sword. But no, it turns out that it's the Valkyrie guy, the Miracle. Again, I can remember his power and not his name. Yeah. So he's just like standing on like a thing of smoke, and he says that they've done well making it this far and making it to him, and then Shinji just kind of says, "You came to us, we didn't come to you." And he sort of just ignores them. And so Renji shoots Zabimaru. I don't know why I said it like that. Out and like extends and wraps around his arm, and Renji says that he's got this. And Shinji's just like, okay. And this made me think like, Renji really isn't the best person to fight this guy. I mean, I know that he beat Maste Masculine, who was able to beat two captains at the same time. Well, he took out Kensei before he fought Rose, but still, this is like one of the elite guys. You really shouldn't just leave Renji, of all people, alone with him. At least like leave Rukia there too. And he says, and that's the Valkyrie, Miracle, whatever his face is. I'll look his name up later and just put it up. Says that even who said it would be a one-on-one fight, and said that not even Miracle could save them from a one-on-one fight. And he's sort of like looking over at them super creepily, and there's like energy or steam or whatever that looks super cool coming off of his eye. And so we cut back to Shunshui's fight against Lily, and he's apparently back in the same spot that they started from, like at the beginning of this chapter. And he decides that everyone should be far away from enough now, and that if now is close enough that he's sorry for it. He has other choice than to use his Bankai, which I want to go over like what I think his Bankai is. I think it's going to be like a board game, and like, you know, not like a simple board game that they just like sit down and play. Like a board game that like is ginormous, and they're like the pieces of the game, and that's why he couldn't like use it when other people are around, because he could get them trapped in it too. Which if they lost the game, then they would die. So that's why he doesn't use it when other people are around. Or at least that's what I think. And that's when we get the picture of his Bankai. And I'm going to hold my thing up real close so I can read what it's called. Kyaten Kyakatsu Kuromatsu Shinju. Probably just butchered that, but don't mind me. I definitely got Lily's thing right, so I mean, I probably got that right too. So yeah, with this chapter, it's weird, because to me when I got done reading, I was like, is it done already? And then I thought, I was like, well, we have the next step for the fight. Shunshu just uses Bankai, so it feels like stuff happened, but it also feels like not enough happened. And that's really what I felt like we got out of this chapter. I mean, we got a pretty cool picture of what his Bankai sort of looks like. I don't know if it's done forming yet, but it still looks pretty stinking cool. Pretty stinking. Lame. Yeah, it looks pretty cool. So yeah, that's the end of the chapter. I thought it was, for the simple fact of him using his Bankai, I'm gonna say that was a good chapter, but if it wasn't for that, then it wouldn't really be a good chapter this week. So yeah, bye.